From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Tuesday, April 26th. Going to have a chilly day ahead. Lots of sunshine, though, and winds are going to be kind of breezy, kind of getting used to that for April, right? Highs will get into the mid-50s today. Walmart says it will not reopen its fire-damaged Plainfield warehouse, potentially leaving hundreds of people without jobs. A massive fire tore through the building last month. You probably remember us talking about it here. Walmart officials issued a notice dated last Friday to state leaders on its decision to shut down the entire facility. Walmart says the damage caused by the fire is too significant to reopen. The fire happened early March. Wish TV brought you several days of team coverage. We talked about it here on the podcast for several days. Smoke and debris spread to surrounding neighborhoods. Since then, Walmart says it's worked hard to put displaced employees in other jobs in the Plainfield area. The company says 2,089 people worked at the facility. 957 of them have accepted new roles within the company. That means that 1,132 workers have not accepted alternative positions. Walmart says it will continue offering pay for hourly workers through July 1st, salaried employees through July 15th. Right now, investigators still don't know how this fire started. And several investigations are underway after the death of a man in police custody. IMPD says the arrest included using a taser twice. It happened early yesterday morning on Marison Place in the Avondale Meadows neighborhood on the city's northeast side. IMPD says the man's father told officers his son was in a state of psychosis and asked for an ambulance. Police say the man was moving around the home naked and sweating. Officers say they'd tried to negotiate and used de-escalation techniques for about 10 minutes when the man all of a sudden quickly moved toward an officer who then used his taser, delivering 2 5-second shocks. Police say the man kept resisting. Officers say they linked 2 sets of handcuffs together because of his size, 6'2", 280 pounds. Officers say they called in medics who asked the man to roll over, but he didn't respond. IMPD says medics and officers did CPR, but the man was pronounced dead at the hospital. The coroner is looking into the cause of death. Now, IMPD is doing criminal and administrative investigations. The officer who activated the taser is on leave, and the Use of Force Review Board will also be looking into what happened. And new this morning, IMPD is searching for the person who shot a man in the leg. Officers say they found the victim at a home near Lindley Avenue and Lyndhurst just after 9 last night. Investigators think he was shot somewhere else, then returned to the house. Police say they don't have any witnesses or a suspect. They also didn't share anything about the victim's identity or condition other than saying he's at the hospital, stable. And that shooting comes after several days of violence in the city. Now, iTeammate is demanding answers, wanting an answer to the question, is IMPD moving in the right direction and are its tactics working? Here's what Mayor Joe Hogsett told iTeammate's Richard Essex.
This past weekend could not in any way, shape, or form be characterized as anything other than tragic. I think because this gun violence epidemic didn't occur overnight, we're not going to win the war overnight.
So far this year, the Office of Public Health and Safety has awarded $13 million in grants aimed at addressing the root causes of crime. It also hired more than 50 life coaches, violence interrupters, and outreach workers. The department says it's hiring more people and that this process can work.
Not only just seeing improvements in the overall crime numbers, but also improvements of the trust that's needed in our community, right? I don't think we can ever expect to get to zero.
IMPD says non-fatal shootings are down compared to this time last year. The mayor and the Office of Public Health and Safety say their crime reduction tactics are working but need some tweaks. And a local mom is using her own experiences to help other families hurt by violent crime. Misty Kuhneman's son, Justin Crowder, was shot to death in a triple homicide in 2017. Kuhneman created a project called Hope Flowers. She's working with the Marion County Prosecutor's Office to deliver memorials to people impacted by violence. Monday, volunteers helped her create 100 displays.
I know each journey is different, but I had to bury my own son for murder, and it is a process, but we can make it out the other side. We can be there to help one another.
Kuhneman hopes to expand the project to communities across the state. And the superintendent of Wayne Township Schools is calling the deaths of 2 elementary students a senseless accident. The school district announced the children died over the weekend while at a campground with their parents. Dr. Jeff Butts did not tweet exactly what happened. He wrote, "Why do certain things happen? A question we sometimes ask and something we often don't understand." Butts also wrote that he added the students and their parents to his prayer list. And we now know the names of 2 people killed in a shooting at a block party in Lafayette. Tommy Marshall was 34. Edward Robinson was 29. The Tippecanoe County coroner released their names Monday. The shooting was early Sunday morning at the Romney Meadows apartment complex. Police say there were more than 100 people at the party when a fight led to gunfire, leaving the 2 dead and 4 others wounded. Officers took 1 person into custody, but haven't said if that person is the shooter. And today, the Biden administration will go before the Supreme Court to make its case for trying to end a controversial Trump-era immigration program. Launched in 2019, the administration argues it does have the authority to end the Remain in Mexico policy. It forces some people seeking asylum in the U.S. to wait in their home country for their hearings. Texas and Missouri sued to keep the program in place. Leaders in the Republican states say it helps reduce the flow of people into the country at the southern border. And this comes as a federal judge blocks the White House from ending another Trump-era restriction on the border, known as Title 42. This program allows the federal government to immediately expel migrants en masse trying to come into the country unauthorized without giving them the right to file an asylum claim. The Biden administration planned to stop using the policy next month, but more than 20 states filed lawsuits asking the court to intervene, and the latest court order does not change the current situation at the border. Bird flu hits a 10th farm in Indiana. According to the State Board of Animal Health, a hobby flock of 41 chickens, ducks, and peafowl in Johnson County tested positive. This marks the first time in the current outbreak that the disease has been detected in central Indiana. It's also the first non-commercial flock affected. Indiana-based Simon Property Group wants to buy Kohl's. Our partners at the Indianapolis Business Journal report Simon and Brookfield Asset Management made a bid to buy Kohl's at $68 a share. The 2 companies say they would help streamline operations to cut costs by $1 billion over the next 3 years. They bought JCPenney out of bankruptcy in 2020, and they're up against at least 20 other potential buyers for Kohl's. The richest person in the world has a deal to buy Twitter. The social media giant agreed to sell to Elon Musk. The deal is worth roughly $44 billion. Members of Twitter's board met Sunday to look over Musk's offer and negotiated into the early morning hours yesterday. Once the deal was done, Musk tweeted, "I hope that even my worst critics remain on Twitter because that is what free speech means." Musk is not yet saying exactly what he will or won't change. He has proposed relaxing some or all of Twitter's content restrictions. Many believe he'll also lift suspensions, like the one for former President Donald Trump. Trump claims he will not rejoin. Hundreds of newly released text messages appear to reveal how former President Trump's inner circle reacted to the U.S. Capitol insurrection. CNN exclusively obtained more than 2,000 texts sent to and from Trump's former chief of staff, Mark Meadows. Meadows turned over the text to the January 6th panel. The texts include messages from Trump's family, cabinet members, and more than 40 current and former Republican members of Congress, including Marjorie Taylor Greene. One text from Greene to Meadows on January 17th shows Greene mentioned martial law, which would put the military in charge. She testified Friday that she did not remember advocating for martial law. And former President Trump is facing hefty fines for every day he doesn't meet the terms of a subpoena from New York's Attorney General. A judge found Trump in contempt and ordered him to pay $10,000 a day until he complies. AG Letitia James is looking into the Trump Organization for fraudulent or misleading conduct in appraisals and financial statements. Trump missed a March 31st court-imposed deadline to turn over the requested business records. His attorney said Trump simply does not have the types of written communications being sought. All right, Stevie Nicks is coming to Indiana. The Rock and Roll Hall of Famer just added more dates to her tour, including Tuesday, June 21st at Ruoff Music Center. Tickets go on sale Friday morning at 10. And Lizzo is coming to Central Indiana, too. She'll perform at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in what's billed as the Special Tour. The show's October 18th, and those tickets also go on sale Friday morning at 10 o'clock. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.